you guys? It's your girl Lorna. I'm back with another video. Before we get in this video, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. And I also need you to hit that bell so you don't miss another lit video. By the title, you already know what we're about to do, you guys. So let's get into this video. So moving forward in my life, if y'all see my last video, then y'all would have known, y'all would be caught up, right? So my last video talked about my childhood, which was my elementary, and how I grew up and where I came from. And this video is middle school for me. So this is the age, this is between 6th and 8th grade. And this is age probably 12 to 14, 12 to 15, something around there. My birthday was in the summer, so 12 to like 14, 15, that's about this age. Something like that, or middle school, probably 11 or 10. I don't know how old I was in middle school, so this is middle school, okay? So 6th grade year, you guys, I started out school in Western Star Middle School. I really didn't get along with a lot of people there. I had a few friends, but hardly. Like, I stayed in trouble. I stayed with an attitude. I didn't really get along with people. I felt like I was just different. And so 6th grade was pretty for me in West Orange. And about a few weeks after I started school, my mom moved to Killeen, Texas, and I started going to Union Grove, which is a middle school in Killeen. And oh my goodness, okay, so my first day, I met this girl named Shalon, and when I met her, this is the story of how me and her became friends, best friends actually. So she was like the bully at the school, and everybody was scared of her, and we used to pick on this kid. Well, she used to, this is my first day, so I'm telling you on my first day. So it was this little kid, his name was Lil Matthew. We called him Lil Matthew because he was short. And she had him like pent up against the locker or whatever case is, and people was just like, don't mess with her, she's Shalon, that's Shalon, da da da, she'll beat you up, da da da. I'm like, okay, like, okay. But where I'm from, like, I stayed fighting, so I really didn't care, and I wasn't scared of nobody. Like, if she beat me up, I get beat up, whatever. I didn't got beat up before, whatever. So within that week, we were at Boys and Girls Club, and we were arguing about something. I don't know what we were arguing about, but she called me the B word, and I grabbed her by her hair and erased the board, like the Boys and Girls Club board, with her head. And like that next day or the end of that week or whatever, she was talking about, like, we laughed at the fact that she was saying like some of her hair was coming out or whatever case is, and we ended up becoming best friends, which is stupid how that happened, but that's how I became best friends with Shalon, and she was my best friend all through middle school. This is still 6th grade, I started dating this boy named, I don't want to keep saying everybody's name. So for everybody's name that I did say, I am sorry. So I'm going to start giving letters, the first letter of their name, because I don't want to, y'all don't know these people, and I don't want them to be like, oh, she's talking about me, da da da. I don't want to do all that. So apologies. So C, I started dating this guy named C, and that wasn't my first boyfriend, but as being older, I would just say that was like my first real relationship, because I actually dated him all through middle school. It was an on and off relationship, but I actually dated him all through middle school. When we first started off dating, it was a pretty good relationship. I was head over heels for him, because where I came from, at some point was just very depressing, and I felt like I didn't have anybody. And for him being there, like, I had him, and my mom used to let me go to his house all the time, and he used to come over, so we used to talk a lot. When I got into 6th grade, I started becoming, not 6th grade, 7th grade, I think I said 7th grade, I started becoming very rebellious with my mom, because it was just a lot of disagreements. I felt like I couldn't talk to her. I felt like she didn't really understand me. And I was just a very rebellious child because I didn't have nobody to talk to. And I talked to my dad every once in a while, but just I'm a daddy's girl, so I couldn't just say, "Daddy, I'm depressed." Like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't ever want to break my dad's heart. So like, he didn't know. And I lived in Killeen and my dad stayed in Orange, which is about 5 hours in between. And he worked a lot. So when we used to move, we moved a lot, like when it came to different like houses. Still in Killeen, but we moved to different houses, so we were moving pretty much a lot. I ended up getting taken from Union Grove, and we moved to Eastern Hills. And I was very upset that I was moving because I had made all of these friends at Union Grove, and then I was just being literally snatched away. I had my different set of friends. So I had A and Q. We called ourselves the Three Musketeers. A and Q dated, and I was the third wheel. But like, we were all super, super close. He was like a brother to me, and she was definitely my best friend, like a sister to me. So we were like super, super close. I really missed those days. And then we had S, D, T. What is her name? A. We had a whole different group of letters, okay? We had a whole different group of letters. So it was, different. And I like literally fell in love with that school. Moved to Eastern Hills. Oh my God. I couldn't stand Eastern Hills. I met a few good friends. And what's crazy was A actually got A up in my Three Musketeers group. She went to Eastern Hills. When I got there, I ended up having a class with her, I was so excited because that was my best friend. So I knew somebody there, and I had joined the basketball team. So I ended up, loving the coach and stuff like that. But I couldn't stand that school. Actually, I really didn't like that school. And it was more so the fact that I had this boyfriend and I was taken away from this boyfriend. So I wanted to really be with the boyfriend, with C. Me and C still had kind of like a little long distance relationship. Even though he was at a different school, I was at a different school, we still talked. I ended up getting in a lot of trouble at Eastern Hills, and I got sent to alternative. This was the very first time I even found out what alternative was. So the way you get to alternative is basically like you keep getting suspended, you're having a lot of referrals, like it's just ISS ain't working for you, and they go to the next step, which is alternative. So I went to alternative. When I went to alternative, C actually was getting in trouble at school as well and got sent to alternative. So we we both was at alternative or whatever the case was. And I met a lot of people at alternative. This is my 7th grade year. I met a lot of people at alternative. I loved alternative, y'all. And alternative is a school for bad kids. But because I felt that we all at that school had something in common, like it was a reason that we were all acting out, like it was just something, like we were depressed, or we didn't have nobody to talk to, or nobody understood us. Like it was just so much that we related a lot. Like we actually really related. And so I actually ended up loving that school. So I used to get in trouble just so I can stay in alternative, because alternative is like you have they give you 30 days starting off. So 30 days you have to be on good behavior. You can't get in trouble for 30 days straight, and then you get to go back to your regular school. But if you get in trouble, they add days. So it goes like 30, 45, 60, like I exceeded the limit. So started getting in trouble. Okay, when I got out of alternative, we end up moving with this girl and her mom. We end up moving in with them, which is A and M. So A was my mom's best friend from church, and M was my best friend from church. And we had moved in with them while we were looking for a different place, because I told y'all we were moving a lot or whatever, until we were looking for a bigger place. And so when we moved with them, it was actually, we had a lot of fun. Like it's a lot of crazy stories with that. But we had actually a lot of fun, and I really love being with them. When we moved, when we were about to move out, my mom got me back into Union Grove. So I'm back at Union Grove with C. I'm not sure if A ended up coming back. I don't know how long she was at Easton Hills. I think she ended up coming back. Okay, so this is when my life started kind of changing. My life really started changing 7th grade. So me and C were toxic. Like, I'm saying this now because I know it now, but then we were young, so I didn't know, how to put words in. When you're young, you're just in a moment of everything. But relating to it now, we were toxic. We were very, very toxic. And our relationship ended up becoming physical. So it was a lot like that, but that was the only person that I really connected to here on a relationship level. Or in middle school, the first person that I felt like I've actually really loved. My mom them loved his parents. I stayed going over there all the time. I loved his sisters, his mom, his dad. I loved his family. I loved being there. But our relationship actually became very toxic. It became abusive. So, with that relationship, I started having trust issues in my life because if you are dating somebody and it's physical, it makes you think in the long run everybody like that you get with is gonna be like that. So that messed me up when it came to relationships because it's like I started looking for the wrong things in the wrong person, in the wrong people. So moving to 8th grade, we still was together. Still toxic, still the way it was, just horrible. We ended up separating at the end of 8th grade. We were actually about to transition to 9th grade, and I had enough, y'all. At that point, I had enough. I was just over it, and we had got into this huge argument in school, and he spit water on me, y'all, and I flipped out. Like, I literally flipped out. This cop came behind me and grabbed me, and I had thought that it was a teacher. Don't make a difference, but I was like, get the off me, I got arrested, and they had to get my grandpa to come pick me up. Long story short, that just went left. So I couldn't walk with my 8th grade class, like, through the graduating from middle school to high school, which was very disappointing because I graduated to 9th grade, but whatever. But once again, I started going back to alternative. My middle school was a huge transition in my life from where I came from because I started meeting new people. I had a lot of great friendships, a lot of people that I met that just played a different part in my life. We all went through so much together. Like, I remember times that me, A, and Q used to meet up at the park. Like, I used to go stay at her house, and Q stayed in the next neighborhood over, and like we literally used to go meet up, and we used to run and chase each other throughout the field and like walk around the neighborhood. We used to have so much fun, and A is very adventurous. She helped me like touch into the very adventurous part of my life. So with her, like, she was like a daredevil. Like, she used to just do anything. Like, we used to be walking through creeks, and like when you used to walk through the creeks, it wasn't like I don't have a problem walking through creeks because where I grew up, it was like the creek would be all the way at the bottom and we all the way up here, and she's trying to go all the way to the bottom and then climb up the doggone wall, and I'm just like, how are we gonna do this? Like, we're gonna die. Like, we just used to do stuff, and like I remember this one time, like we like camped at her house, and like we literally camped in first of all, she has a backyard. Why we camped in the front yard, your guess is as good as mine now that I think of it. We literally put the tent almost at the edge of the street in the yard, and that's where we slept in. Yeah, so I woke up in the middle of the night, and guess who was in her bed? Gone. Her. So we had a lot of crazy experience, but it was fun. Like, we did a lot. We really did a lot. So my Middle school life, like I said, kind of, I kind of touched in with how I really was feeling when I got to middle school. Like, you know, depression, and I felt like I was really depressed. Felt like I was hurt by a lot of childhood stuff. I felt like I really had nobody, no connection to nobody. I was down, I was depressed. I put on a show for everything. I stayed in trouble. Um, so my middle school year was just like a, yeah, like a, or whatever. You guys, that's pretty much the only way I feel like I can describe my middle school life. It gets way interesting as it goes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if y'all want to hear more about my life, if y'all want to hear more about in detail about what I've been through, what I've gone through, ask questions. All you have to do is ask questions, and I will answer the question exactly how y'all want it to be answered, or you know what y'all asking. I will answer the question, but y'all have to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so when I do post a video you don't miss that video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.